A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Survival of No Limits. And so for today, welcome to part 6 of 1027. 1021 segments are left for me to finish up on, but for today, this is the 6th day that I got here, the 6th time that I have to manage with this. And I would very much like to start talking about a few things that are in fact in relation to being stranded on an island. An island is in fact no joke. There really have been a lot of uncharted lands that we've had across this entire world, and it's mostly due to various things out there. Earthquakes, volcanic activity, land erosion, weathering. There's a lot of contributing factors that could really allow for new partitions of land to appear in the continents that we already have, or even on the oceans. There's been thousands of different islands that we've discovered over the past several thousand years, and as a result of that, we were really able to look at some of these lands with different aspects upon each other. I gotta say that there really are in fact lots of islands that you could probably visit, but of course, we shouldn't forget. There's tons of islands that are still unnamed, and a bunch of which are just uncharted. There are lands that must be checked. There are lands that must be trekked, and we must find out what could be lying within them. There could be an ancient treasure in them. There could be something else we might have to look up, but that's pretty much just out of the way here. That's off track, in a way. Because I mainly want to talk about getting yourself stranded on one to begin with. I know I have not actually been on separate islands, ones that have been unnamed or uncharted. Unlike Hawaii, I've been on a few of them. Because I will say for sure that Oahu, Honolulu, Kilauea, lands like those, those are islands on the Pacific Ocean that just so happen to be around there. And yet, of course, America still incorporates it as a legit country as part of our own monarchy. So we cannot forget the fact that as of 1959, Hawaii has been a part of America. Even though we have had it with us for even longer than that, especially when it comes to the December 1941 bombing of Pearl Harbor. Though we shouldn't forget the fact that, aside from all that, Hawaii itself is still just a strand of islands that happen to be far out in the Pacific Ocean, way further out to the west from California, or Oregon or Washington. And I will say that on an island like that, it's pretty fun in many ways. There's really a lot that you could possibly do out there on the islands of Hawaii, like surfing, and so much more. There's really a lot that you could expect to do. But I will say, for one thing, that an island that you could probably get stranded on because of a boat wreck, or because of a plane crash, or because of something else that probably could have happened in life. There really are a lot of things out there, a lot of reasons why people might end up stranded on one, or why you might end up on one in general, regardless if you went there intentionally or not. An island, of course, is actually supposed to be a set of good news, because there really is a lot that you could look for while you're on one of them. You may feel like a castaway. You may feel like Tom Hanks on the set of Castaway from 2000. Wow. Kind of a coincidence. That film came out on the same exact year that I went down to Hawaii, a set of islands on the Pacific Ocean. I don't really see much of a connection, though. Because Kaiju Force Neo, of course, wasn't around since 2000. We all know that. I was only 1 year old. There's no way. But of course, we can't forget about the fact that an island really does offer a lot of beneficial aspects that can help you to survive pretty well. There's usually some types of foods that could be out there, like some vegetation, some plants, some berries, some coconuts, some nuts. As a matter of fact, a lot of things happen to grow on an island. There's some plant strands and some sorts that are probably edible, but some that might not be. And you probably have to be very careful about that. So of course, an island itself has a pretty good amount of beneficial aspects, but of course you'd have to worry about a few other things as well, like trying to find out how to get help. Of course, there are many different ways that you could probably go through it. You could actually lay out rocks or something to try and display an SOS symbol just to alert a passing aircraft. You could also try to flash at nearby ships or boats. I feel sorry for Tom Hanks not being able to get help on the set of Castaway. Yeah. Could have gotten help right there with the boats and all that good stuff. But anyways, islands, of course, regardless of if they are supposed to be a good thing or if they're supposed to be a bad thing, the thing is, they're out there to possibly help you out or to possibly get you killed. There's a lot of ways that it can all go down, but I mainly just wanted to talk about a lot of the things that are necessarily attributed to islands, whether or not they're supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing as a whole. If you end up on one, then well, you can expect a lot of things to happen to you. So of course, next time you're out there at sea, whether or not your boat might sink and you might end up adrift at sea, well, I already talked about that topic as a whole, being adrift at sea without anything to hold on to. And of course, an island shows up, then well, you might be in luck. You might be able to survive, but for who knows how long. Well anyways, that's pretty much all I got to talk about here. This is Survival of No Limits, and I'm Jay Nowak, and if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.